What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I was supposed to be doing another video today besides this one, but this one is something that I really wanted to kind of elaborate on. I was watching a video by another YouTube channel. The name of that YouTube channel is Dre's Trucking World, and Dre's been with Prime for a while. He's under the Junior Honduras training tree. He trained with Junior a while back, and he's out there getting after it, definitely doing his thing. But he did a video that was called, let me see, Top or Bottom Bunk, Your Choice. And the gist of this video, and I'm gonna leave a link to this video in the description below if you want to take a look at that, but the gist of the video is basically the way Prime says it's supposed to be. If the truck is moving, you should be in the bottom bunk, and then if it's not moving and both people are kind of in the sleeper, then top bunk's okay. And one of the things he was saying was, there's a lot of excuses why people might choose to want to sleep in the top bunk while the truck is moving. It's very unsafe, all those kind of things. But the thing that he said in this video kind of makes me rethink something that I'd said in an earlier video. He was saying, if your trainer's truck is that messy to where you feel that you need to sleep on the top bunk, you need to tell him to clean it. Now, I didn't particularly say this in my video. In my video, I think I was saying, to interview your trainer and, different things like that. And there have been a couple things that I've noticed within the last few days that kind of made me have a little bit more understanding in this, in that not everybody's going to have the confidence to tell a trainer to clean up their truck, or to have the confidence to interview a trainer. I kind of been sitting at this terminal, haven't been inside too much, but I'm walking around and I'm seeing that there's just a lot of very young drivers out there that may not have the confidence to speak up to a trainer like that. I was at a meat plant the other day, and there was another driver there, and to make a long story short, the settings on the reefer were supposed to be set, what was in our system said it was supposed to be set on fresh meat 26 degrees, and it was supposed to run continuous. Well, fresh meat doesn't allow you to run continuous, so he was like overly concerned about this. And I was like, listen, I'm about to make my call. I'm making my call in to for my departure. I'll let you know what they say, but listen, it's not no big deal. I said whatever I would normally say. And I mean, this guy was like, he was from another country. He was like, no, listen, this job here is very important to me. I do not want to mess it up. And it made me think, man, not everybody, it really took me aback that he was concerned over that reefer setting like it was damn near something that was going to cost him his job. And I think, obviously, if the reefer wasn't set at the right point and things like that and the load went bad, potentially that could cost you your job. But the fact that that was where his mind went to initially just kind of really made me rethink a few things. And that, it's easy to say, tell your trainer to clean up, interview your trainer, do all this kind of stuff when you have other options. Or, like I said, when I came into this, I was 50 years old. I didn't need my first trainer that was really no good. I didn't really need Prime, and I didn't need trucking in general. So it was easy for me to say, you know what, stand up for yourself, do this, do that. When in the long run, if something negative happens, it's just another, it's not that big of a deal. I just go on in another direction. So just looking at some of these drivers, and this guy that was so overly concerned about losing his job, just made me think that You know, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done to interview your trainers. Easier said than done to, you know, call your dispatcher and tell them what conditions you're going through and all that kind of stuff, when you might be concerned about you losing your job. Or, you know, nobody, you know, these trainees, I mean, I barely know the inner workings of Prime right now. A trainee might not, you know, a trainee might think he might get fired or something for even bringing something up. So I think that in a perfect world, it would be easy for anybody to say, you know, the things that I said in my video and the things that he said in his video, but it's not always a perfect world, and you just never know where people are coming from, and you know, when they get here. So I do agree with that, though. Listen, there is no reason that you should have to be sleeping on the top bunk when the truck is moving. I personally know somebody that did sleep in the top bunk when the truck was moving. Now, I kind of have a little bit of a problem with you know, Prime can be so particular in some ways, and one of the things that I think that Prime should do is, you know, there's going to be some cases where you're not picking people up at the terminal and things like that, but personally, and you could call it an invasion of privacy, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But if I was a trainer, I would not have a problem with, you know, it doesn't even have to be like a formal inspection. It could be just going through outbound and, you know, having one of the guys just take a look in the truck and make sure it's not, you know, overly messy. You know, every time you go through in and outbound, if you're a student trainee situation, and definitely before you pick up a trainee if you're at the terminal, those are just things that I think are kind of missing, because like I said, I've seen some of these trainers' trucks, and I've had some trainees send me pictures of their truck. Not some, I've had 2 trainees send me pictures of their the truck that they were in, and these are situations where it would have almost been obvious just driving through inbound with all the stuff that was on the dash that might be a truck you might want to take a look at a little bit further. So listen, if you happen to be going through TNT training, or, you know, even PSD, and your trainer's truck is in a condition where it's either making you feel like you need to sleep on the top bunk or not want to be in the truck in general, you know, I would say speak up to yourself. I know that not everybody's going to feel comfortable doing that, but if you can speak up in that case, you know, speak up. If not, you know, I guess, you know, deal with it the best way that you can. I'm not always the one to determine what the best way is, but you know, these are just limited cases. These aren't cases where, you know, it's a majority of the trainers or anything like that, but it's just enough to make it a little bit too noticeable, if you know what I mean. And on my end, you know, when I see that kind of stuff happen, or when I see a truck that is in this condition and that person is training, the first thing that tells me is, listen, if your goal was to train and that is what you wanted to do, then you would have your truck in a condition to where it would be conducive to training. If your truck is not in that condition in your training, then that's about the money. It's more a decision made on money than it is on training. So I don't know. I hope the best for everybody out there. I know everybody won't feel comfortable speaking up and things like that, but if you are capable of doing that, do it. Like I said, it's not going to be the majority of the time while you're out there. And it's not gonna happen to the majority of you. And I know I keep rambling on because there's other thoughts that are kind of bouncing off the inside of my head that I think could fit in this video, but maybe not, so I'm not gonna throw those in there. But that's about it. Listen, go check out Dre's Trucking World. Like I said, you could either find him on his own channel and some of them older videos that Junior Honduras had maybe about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. He was teaming up with him. But like I said, I'm going to put a link to his video in the description below where he's talking about top or bottom bunk. And that's it. I'm about to run inside, get my little payroll thing signed for me and my new co-driver. And it's Friday. Listen, I'm not thinking about leaving out of here till Monday morning when my dispatcher gets back in. I'm not going to be able to get dispatched today, so I think we'll just wait out this weekend and maybe take him out for some vittles or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, I do thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.